Hey everyone, Chris Sawyer, the Varietal Show is back. I am here with my good friend Mark Ibanez. If you guys know Bay Area sports, you know who Mark Ibanez is. Great newscaster, sportscaster to me because of all the great teams that we had with the Warriors and the 49ers and the Raiders and the A's and soccer and all sorts of stuff. Mark is a very good wine fan too, and I brought him here today to a very special event with me. Mark, you gave me so much on TV about all the highlights from all the great games that I saw. I got to listen to him. He got to listen to me about wine today, and be with a lot of good winemakers, be with a lot of good friends. And what do you think today, Mark?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I mean, I'm in way over my head, but I would say an amazing but also humbling experience. And I felt like I'm such a novice, I'm so green. And now that I am retired from sportscasting, I get a chance to do this kind of thing. Yeah. But I learned so much, even just through osmosis, and watching you guys interact and talk about the wines. And my appreciation level just continues to grow. And boy, I love this experience. And it's hard to let it all go. It's over for the day.
It's over for the day. I shut him down, actually, except for we need him for this show. As I showed you right here, Crocker Starr, my great friend Pam Starr. This is a collection that I purchased on behalf of Don Sebastiani, who kind of was our co-host for this tasting today. Crocker Starr. This is the old Stone Place Cuvée from 1999. These were all 1999 Cabernets.
So spoiled. I'm so spoiled.
Yeah, you weren't used to tasting this many old Cabernets together.
My palate was overwhelmed.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, Dick Arrowood, if you guys know the Dick Arrowood, amazing brand here. This did extremely well. A lot of people, especially the collectors, were super into this wine. We also had Robert Craig, very nice one, food pairing wine. We had amazing Rudd. If you guys know who Leslie Rudd was, with
the Rudd family,
Dina DeLuca. Amazing legend here, and this was a 99 vintage. We also had the Benzingers, and this amazing, actually Magnum that was fantastic. I mean, they were stacking it up. Like, this was complete success inside this bottle, holding up extremely well for a 1995, still drinking well. We had Solare, which I threw in just so people would get all crazy on, like, what the hell is that? Solare from actually from up in Columbia Valley, up in Washington, Oregon border there. And then we had some other great ones here too. Let's see, I don't know about our regular ones. Oh yeah, a little bit of Sequoia Grove. Anyone ever had that brand? But you know what? Probably won our competition was this Cornerstone, 97 Cornerstone. Very, very good production here. Amazing wine. But we also had, Joel Aiken, who made all the BV wines with us today. This is a great selection that he made by himself. And we also had Laurel Glen, my great friend Randall Watkins, who's the winemaker at Laurel Glen, who brought a 96. This is just at lunch. So this is the thing, is that we not only spoiled him with tasting with a bunch of winemakers and some somms like myself, but we also brought him out here to lunch with lamb shank and had more wines for him. What do you think?
Overwhelmed is the description in one word, but you guys are living right, and I gotta say, this is kind of what I dreamed my retirement would be like. Getting to experience new things, learning new things, and the appreciation that all of you have for your field of expertise. And it's much like sports in that you have to have a passion for it, and that passion will express itself over the airwaves or to the people you're dealing with. And that is my biggest takeaway today, is observing people who are way out of my league as far as their knowledge and appreciation, but the passion that they have for what their expertise is was fantastic to me. And like I say, just incredibly spoiled.
Just doing my job, you guys.
Yeah,
So
pretty good job,
yeah,
Scott.
yeah. So you know, the one thing that, well, many things that we're connected through. You went to Petaluma High, you know,
right.
and I went to Petaluma High, and you know, watching you on
Bonded forever, baby.
Bonded
as
forever.
Trojans.
Go Trojans. Go Trojans. You know, we grew up in a very unique area. Look at us now. You know, back when we were a kid, Napa Valley wasn't even an appellation. 1973 was before the 76 Paris tasting. Mondavi was technically open. You know, it is less than 10 years old. And here we were in Sonoma County with a lot of producers like the Sebastianis that were producing good wines and everything for the nation. But it wasn't like we had 500 to 700 wineries in each area.
Nowhere
So
near.
it sure has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been an incredible development, and little did we know. I mean, obviously, I'm older than you are, but in 1973, when I graduated, you would think of, in all honesty, Napa as the state hospital.
Yeah.
That's all you knew of Napa.
You guys don't know
right?
about that, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
actually has
and-
a state hospital.
Yeah, and now it's changed so much that it is a obviously global destination point, and things have changed so much, and you don't even think of Napa in those terms anymore. And now that I live in the Napa Valley, every day is truly a learning experience. But as my wife, who grew up in Napa, always reminds me, appreciate where you are. Look at your surroundings. It's really amazing. But also, if you think about it, it's easy to take for granted.
Yeah.
It's like we wake up, beautiful weather every day, surrounded by beauty and wines and culture and food and drink. And
It wasn't like that. Remember, you guys,
No.
it wasn't like that when we
Nothing.
grew up.
Nothing.
Even when I grew up,
even
too.
20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean,
You know.
I'd put it there 25 years ago, a quarter century ago. It was not what it is today. And tasting wines from more than a quarter century ago was pretty interesting, you know. And that's why, you know, or at a quarter century ago, you know, those kinds of things that we get to do, you know, when we gather together for this Sawyer Cassell tasting. It's amazing, you know, and it's just being able to treat people like you. I mean, you know, you did so much for me with, like, I needed those highlights that he was going to say on. There were games that I couldn't see. I didn't see the Raiders game, and he had to broadcast it for me. And what do you think about those Warriors, though, huh?
Man, that was one of those things I'll never forget.
Dub Nation.
I
Dub
was
Nation.
asked on a radio station right as the playoffs were beginning, how do you think the Warriors are going to do in the playoffs? And I gave my honest answer, which I still easily recall. And the answer is, at that time, I wouldn't have been surprised if they got eliminated in the first round, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won the championship. Because remember, Steph Curry missed the whole last month of the regular season. They never melded together. They were never able to play as a team. Klay Thompson was injured. Draymond was hurt. So you really didn't, anybody who says they knew the Warriors were going to win the championship, full of baloney. We saw it develop before our very eyes, and to me, of their 4 championships in this era, I think this is the most satisfying, because maybe the most unexpected.
Well, I think to me the key was Klay. I mean, you had a synergy between 3 players that were amazing players, and you had one that came back out of no expectations because we didn't know if he'd be, you know,
2
would he
catastrophic injuries.
Yeah,
Klay Thompson.
and he came back, and it was kind of, I mean, obviously Steph was amazing, and
MVP,
especially that, what was it, Game 5, that he just said, forget everything, forget my injury or anything. I'm just going to score 40 plus
needed
points.
him, and he came through in the ultimate situation.
Amazing, but you know, I just feel like when you build a team like that, you know, it's. And let's just say that when you build good winemaking teams too, it's very similar. You know, you want to keep that synergy
There's a lot of
going.
synergy there.
And I think we saw it better than anything. What do you think about as far as predictions for football this year?
Oh wow! Well,
Just throw it at him.
You know, it's kind of a wild card with the 49ers.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, because you got a rookie quarterback, Trey Lance, and they still, as of the taping of this show, still got Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster, right?
Technically, yes.
Yeah, so they have a lot of talent surrounding the quarterback position, but I think the question remains, can you go to a Super Bowl with, in essence, a rookie quarterback, Trey Lance? And that's what they're kind of rolling the dice on. And I think a lot of talent, but a lot of inexperience at the most important position, quarterback. So I believe, much like the Warriors when the playoffs started, it could go either way. I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers were mediocre this year, but I wouldn't be shocked if they wound up going to the Super Bowl.
Well, you know who carries them for me is the defense. The defense is good. It's freaking solid. I mean, it's one of the best defenses in the NFL, and you can win games based on defense.
No doubt.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. And
it's coming up quicker than we know.
I know.
mean, we're in July, baby. Here we go.
Damn. Well, Mark, thank you so much for being here, and this is really special. I'm going to say this right now. Mark and I are going to do another show, and it's going to be all based on music, because this man knows his music. I know my music. And if I bring some wines over and I just say, let's pair this with music, you're going to watch us do this. And we're going to talk a lot about music, and you're going to love it. And so hang on for part 2 with me and Mark Ibanez. But thank you so much for being here, Mark.
Always my pleasure. And I can't thank you enough. This was an amazing afternoon. And my learning curve is steep, but with an expert like this guy by my side, I'm picking it up quick. And you know what's so great about you is, you know, there's so much to know and glean about the world of wine that you have to have someone who's patient, who understands, and also realizes that aspect of knowledge with wine, that a lot of it is subjective. And you really helped release me in that there is no absolute correct answer, but when you feel like you know so little, and someone who's teaching you is willing to go, no, but you know, but they don't make you feel stupid. And I appreciate that from you.
You got it, Mark.
I really do.
No, I love this guy. And let me say one thing too. We did a great fundraiser last year, Mark and I, for the Mount Veeder
Fire Prevention, man.
Fire Prevention Council. And you know what? Support these people, and we were happy to support them ourselves and do a live broadcast together, and that's what really brought us together. I mean, I always love this guy. We've met before and stuff, but bringing him here and making him taste a bunch of wines with me,
making him twisted my arm. It was brutal.
Yeah, cheerios.
I appreciate
my dear
you, man.
friend.
Appreciate you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
That's the sporting life.
That's the sporting life. Here, here.